Hi, I'm Mac with the Redbird Red Zone podcast representing the Arizona Cardinals. And I'm here to go over everything fantasy football related to the Arizona Cardinals. Starting with the must starts this week, going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. If you've seen the Arizona Cardinals depth chart, you might think it's a midseason game. But for the season opener, I'm just going to have Kyler, Hollywood Brown, and James Conner as the three must starts this week. Rondelle Moore would have been up there, but it looks like he strained his hamstring pretty bad and could be out multiple weeks. Another Cardinals player that I'm actually going to be looking for in maybe a flex option or daily fantasy, which could help you, is actually AJ Green. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but he's the one big body wide receiver that Kyler has this week with DeAndre Hopkins out. And all three of his TDs last year came in the first 6 weeks. So if you're going to go with the 34-year-old wide receiver, you're probably going to get the best out of him early on in the season. And against a Kansas City defense that's young, inexperienced, I think that's kind of a dart throw if you're stuck and you need a flex option or a cheap guy in daily fantasy. So keep that in mind, AJ Green. I can see him getting a touchdown or two, a couple deep passes, because that's the one thing he did great last year. He actually was able to still go up for the ball downfield. So those are the couple options that I would be playing. As for fading, I love Zach Ertz in this offense. He's shown that he's a security blanket for Kyler Murray last year when he got traded over here from the Eagles. But he's banged up right now, too. He was limited in practice with a calf injury, I believe. Thursday, he did not practice. Friday, he was limited. And it sounds like he could be on a snap count. And that's just not something you really want to deal with week one. So keep an eye on Zach Ertz after this week. See how he does. See how he heals. Because I do think he's going to be a borderline must-start tight end, especially in PPR. Kyler's shown to love him. When he got traded over here, he put up better numbers than any Arizona Cardinal tight end has had in a long time. So he just signed a contract extension, so that's somebody definitely keep an eye on. Rondelle Moore, like we mentioned, it looks like he's going to be missing multiple weeks with a hamstring injury, which is not a good thing for a speed receiver. So a lot of Cardinal fans are talking about Isabella, Greg Dortch. Fade both. You have to fade both, obviously, until we see what the wide receiver room shakes out to be. I like both as a potential boom or bust play, but until we see who's getting those reps more, basically as that wide receiver 4, you just cannot go with either of them. Dynasty options. Trey Mcbride was probably one of the first, if not the first tight end taken off the board in your dynasty drafts this year. Definitely the first Cardinal should have been taken off the board. He didn't show as much in preseason as I think a lot of us have hoped, but that's not a big worry or anything like that. But still, even if Zach Ertz misses a game, I think you can't start him. That's a guy that long term down the road, maybe midway through the season, let's see how it shakes out. But as of right now, keep him on your bench. And then the running back room. I know a lot of people love Keontae Ingram, USC running back, Benjamin. But I do think if I was going to lean one way or the other, I'm going to go Daryl Williams. He's a proven 1,000-yard back last season with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's a dual threat, passing game, receiving game. Cliff kind of kept him off the radar in this preseason, so it's kind of hard to tell. But if I were to lean any of those three to hold on to for the short-term option, it's going to be Daryl Williams. But do keep an eye on Eno and Keontae Ingram. You should have them probably both in your dynasty, or one or the other.